What's good, everybody? It's your goddamn boy J School's Phantom, this motherfucker, man. And right now, man, I just want to talk about damaged motherfuckers and shit like that. Like it's cool to experience negative shit when you're younger. I'm not saying like it's cool, like people deserve this shit and shit like that. Obviously, it'd be more ideal if we lived in a more positive world and shit. But the reality is, we don't live in a positive world. And when someone experiences like a lot of negative situations and negative energies and influences when they're younger, a lot of the times like they become like a damaged person when they grow up. So it's like they almost become like a narcissist. And what I mean by that is it's just someone who's just unfulfilled, someone who's just didn't fulfill themselves in some way, shape, or form. Someone that's just that lacks something, but that lack is within. Like sometimes people may lack self-love. Sometimes people may lack a lot of different things, but whatever it is that you need, you can just provide for yourself now when you're an adult, right? Because people just make up, and it's not like people are making up excuses. A lot of the times, like I said, the subconscious controls 80% of your conscious reality. So there is some type of subconscious cycle, subconscious motor that is actively active, and the mind is basically occupied with that pattern and shit like that, right? And since we just consciously observe a reality, okay, look at it like this, right? A lot of addicts will tell you no, they're not addicts, but they still repeat the behaviors of, being addicted to like a substance and shit like that, right? And they could tell you well, no, I'm not addicted. Well, no, I'm gonna quit this shit tomorrow. But they're not gonna do it because their behaviors, their survival is so dependent and so wired into abusing like a substance and shit like that, right? And so what I'm trying to say is like when people say like they want to change, okay, like yeah, sure, that shit sounds fucking good. Everybody want to change, everybody want to do better in their life, and but when it comes to the doing part of it, like that's it's not difficult. It's a process that a person gotta stick with and follow and shit like that. You know what I mean? And so it's like since the subconscious controls 80% of people's reality, then if a person can't modify their subconscious over time, because all that happened was your subconscious was just trained by you, and what your subconscious was trained by was those very same negative experiences, was those same influences. Whatever people may have done to you when you were younger, that's exactly what trained your subconscious mind to see reality in a particular way today. And so it is what it is. And so people can sit there and complain about it. Life is hard out here, but you got to ask yourself, well, what is it that your early childhood experiences has made you believe? Like, what is it that your childhood experiences actually got you believing? Like, that's the shit that matters. And if those, because whatever you make on your mind matter, it matters exclusively to you. Nobody gives a fuck about why it matters to you. Now, I understand it because people get damaged at an early age, but if that shit develops into some type of like negative, weak ass fucking beliefs where a person feel like they can't do something, they can't have something for whatever X, Y, and Z and reason, then you have full authority over your own mind and body to fucking decimate that belief system, to decimate those thoughts and feelings, to completely reprogram your subconscious. Because at that point, then you really have to ask yourself, is your subconscious working for you, or is your subconscious working against you? And if your subconscious is working against you just based upon some negative experiences that a person may have had when they were younger, then you gotta ask yourself, well, I'm capable of change. Do I really want to keep on repeating that cycle? Do I really want to keep on repeating those behaviors? Do I really want to keep on coping and shit like that? And if motherfuckers want to cope, go ahead. I don't even give a fuck. But in actuality, in reality, if a person want to change their goddamn life, if a person is serious about that, then fuck yeah, they will go with that change. And that shit might be the most uncomfortable shit ever, because you're literally killing a fucking parasitical neural connection in your own fucking mind and body on the physical fucking level. You're literally executing and killing a fucking part of you. So of course that shit is gonna be fucking difficult. If any of y'all have even tried fasting or just understand the idea of fasting, like a lot of motherfuckers nowadays is gluttons. A lot of the food that they need to eat don't even be nutritious, so it just be like out of catering to their feelings and shit like that. And if any of y'all motherfuckers fast, or any of y'all have ever tried fasting and shit like that, you would just see like how your body and how your mind will complain about needing food because it's so used to catering it. It's so used to, like, it's just so catered to food. But have you ever seen a homeless motherfucker? Obviously, they don't eat healthy every day. They might not even get food that day. You still see their body figuring it the fuck out because the body's fucking resilient. So if you just implement your mind is fucking resilient. If you just implement that change, then, and keep in mind, I'm not talking like angry at anyone else. I'm really just talking harshly because I'm angry at myself. So please keep that in mind. Like when I talk like this, I'm pissed off and shit, it don't really be having anything to do with nobody. I just be talking to myself, really, and I just invite other people to talk, other people to listen to, you know? But a lot of the times, like, people are just experiencing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, if any of y'all ever tried fasting, you would see how your body and your mind would complain and try to convince you, like, oh, we need food. Oh, get that Krispy Kreme donut. Oh, we need that white sugar in the morning. But all these things are just things that we've programmed our mind and body to cater to. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these food gluttony behaviors and shit like that, it just be stuff that we have just adopted, like, over time, just as coping mechanisms, just to deal with our feelings. Like, a lot of the food that people be eating just be just some shit just to cater to their fucking feelings. Like, oh, you know, oh, I feel bad today. Oh, well, let me get some cake, let me get some candy. You know, it's like that type of shit. So it's just like, it just show you, like, that people don't really get to the root of the problem, and it show you that, like, people would rather just put up with a coping mechanism. Why do you think like it's so easy to sell people like pharmaceutical drugs? And it's like, it's not a bad thing, but it's not dealing with the root and shit like that. And then they banned herbal medicines and all that type of shit, and they tell you, nah, you can only, this is the only, it's just stupid. Like, the whole world is designed in such a way where to keep you sick, so you can keep getting help and keep paying money to get that help. But that help that we be getting, it don't really be getting to the root of the problem. It only be addressing like some symptoms and shit like that. So it never really be the actual solution. It never be like the actual answer. It just be like a side mission almost type bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But yeah, man. And then, like, when a person is very fucking damaged, when a person is, like, having all these negative thoughts and feelings on their mind, like, whatever beliefs, like, they might, because, like, look, we live in the conscious reality, and, like, don't nobody, like, actually want to seem weak. Don't nobody actually want to seem like they're not capable of something. So then it becomes like a person might become, like, very manipulative. A person might feel like they just entitled to some shit, because, like, they want to be, like, something else outside. Let's say, for example, right, like, let's say like somebody like earn like a manager position at work, right, and shit like that, right? An employee that just might join the job, they might look at their manager and start to compare and contrast themselves to them and start to self-reflect. But instead of them actually using that self-reflection and some type of shadow work on themselves, they start to just project, like, well, you know, if he has that position, I should have that position too. Well, I deserve it. Well, what do they have that I don't have? But all that is just like the logic a person be spitting, but it be based upon some subconscious shit, like based upon their own beliefs. And a person's subconscious be so deep, like it's so difficult for a person to sit down and actually really, really look in the mirror and be like, damn, okay. And it's just amazing, man. It's just fucking amazing to me. Because, like, everybody is their own worst enemy. Everybody is their own worst problem and shit like that, right? And so it's like, the same subconscious training that people received when they were younger and shit like that, like, the same programming they received and shit, like, because all it is that the childhoods of motherfuckers, people's childhood, just fucking trained their subconscious in a particular way. And now they feel and see themselves in a particular light, and it might not be like a positive light and shit like that. But again, like, since we're in the external conscious reality, anybody can, you know, it's just like, it's amazing to me, man. It's amazing to me. Like, maybe I should say it like in a different way, right? Because, like, a lot of the behaviors that people express, it be based upon, like, whatever they lack internally. So if a person like, you know, I don't know, man, if a person lacked self-love, a person lacked love in their life, they might feel like entitled to other people's form of love. But again, it just become like parasitical, because they never even really develop it for themselves, and then they're just living off the validation. They're living off the appreciation and shit like that. And then, you know, and then that's even negative for that person, because all they're gonna do is just live for some validation, live for some fake love. That, and it's not about being fake or right. The other person might have their intentions like fully right in place and shit like that. But if that person don't start to love themselves, like actually start to cultivate that shit for themselves, then you start to become like parasitical, starts to become vampiric, where it's like, okay, I'm here to receive love from external people, places, and things, rather than just actually dealing with whatever it is that a person got going on within them and shit like that, you know? So it just starts to become problematic for that person. It starts to become problematic for other people around them, because it's like, it's really like something inside of them is not fulfilled, and then it's like they start to go to all these extremes to fulfill those things, and then it's just like, what the fuck? Where it's like, it's not even no balance going on, where it's basically like, it's kind of weird, man. I ain't gonna lie and shit like that. It's basically like a perception of lacking something, having so much baggage on someone's mind, having so many thoughts and feelings that are just like, that you don't have to have those thoughts and feelings on your mind. You don't have to have those beliefs anymore. But like I said, that cycle, that subconscious feedback loop can be so strong. And just like anything else, like when you want to break out of something, it might be strong at the beginning. Like, you know, there might be a weight, there might be a belief in your mind that you might think outweighs you and shit like that. But if you just start to, you know, like prove that belief wrong, because all the belief is something subjective that we just give our mind to and shit like that, and we start to play those things out and shit like that, right? But all it is just something on the mind, and since it's so subconscious, since it's so deep, on what I mean by it's so deep, it's just below the detection threshold of most people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like in their subconscious chakras and shit like that. They start to like not deal with it. They start to not address it and just let it be what it be and shit like that, you know? Then, you know, when people don't address their problems, it's like, it should become problematic and shit like that. Not only for them, but for other people as well and shit like that. But, yeah, man, so it's like narcissism is basically like a very common mental problem. A lot of people got it and shit like that. But the question, and it's like, I don't even like that word narcissism either. It's kind of stupid. All it is, it's just a damaged motherfucker. All it is just a damaged person from their childhood. That's all it is. And so it's like, when there's no, because it's like, and it's amazing because it's like, man, wow. I don't even want to get into that either. But let's just stick to the topic and shit like that, you know? It's just so amazing, man. It's just so amazing, man, because it's a very common mental illness. And I'm basically working on a solution for that and stuff like that, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, when you figure out your own problems, you can help other people figure out their problems as well. Because at the end of the day, really, like, we all here on Earth together, whether we like it or not, like, we all in this together and shit like that. You know, it is what it is. It just becomes a question of how can we wisely deal with one another, because at the end of the day, like, it's a lot of accountability and responsibility that has to be taken and shit like that on people's own time and stuff like that. And then if people are not taking that accountability and responsibility on their own time, then it's like, okay, that's already a person lacking a trait of accountability and responsibility. And then do you really want to be around a person that lack that trait of accountability and responsibility? Because the moment you even, like, let's say you even let that person borrow some money from you, right? That person will just, like, they're not even going to give you that money back because they're not even accountable and responsible for them damn selves. So it's like that, dude. Like, it's not even, like, worth it. It's like, because the thing is, like, when a person goes through their own hero's journey, like, when a person, like, fights their own demons, their own thoughts and feelings and shit like that, right? That you develop so much goodness in that process. You develop so many good traits within that process, like discipline, like morality, like love, genuine love for yourself, and therefore genuine love for others that you know, that take on that same passion as you and shit like that. So during the hero's journey, really a person is developing so many positivity in them, but to go on that hero's journey is a scary thing, because it's like really what, because it's like people would rather ignore their demon, ignore their thoughts and feelings, ignore what's on their mind and shit like that, like what's depressing them and shit like that, and try to cope with it externally and go through all these external, you know, hula hoops and shit like that. And then and again, it's just all coping, and it's all really just because that's why I was addressing the whole medicine thing earlier. Like, is there someone sitting down on their ass making a bunch of money, and is it fucking smart? Sure, absolutely. But is it kind of demonic too? Sure. Is it kind of devilish? Yeah. And it's like, man, it's kind of fucked up too, because it's like the world is full of dumb motherfuckers. So it's like when a manipulator sees a dumb motherfucker, what else can they think about other than, damn, let me take advantage of this person? And that's why I don't even like this reality, because this reality has like a bunch of people that chose the position of like manipulators and shit like that. And then you got a bunch of people that chose the position of like Mr. Goody Two Shoes and shit like that. And then the Mr. Goody Two Shoes be like, oh, well, why are you taking more from us? I'm being so nice to you. And then the manipulator is like, oh, I want more because you're so fucking stupid and shit like that. And so it's just so fucking retarded to me. Like, if Mr. Goody Two Shoes, I'm just talking about like an archetype right there, Mr. Goody Two Shoes and Mr. Nice Guy or whatever the fuck, would to actually drop their balls and like start to fight for what the fuck they want, then the manipulator would never be able to do what they're able to do. And they're not even smart. The only reason they're able to do it is because it's just being allowed to be done. Like, let's say for example, like let's say like you ask someone for lunch money, right, every day, right? You know, and this person is kind, you know, let's say like, you know, they well off for some reason, and you know, blah blah, right? And you know, they're giving you $10 for lunch and shit like that, right? And then it's like the other person's gonna keep asking them for that, and if they never ask for it back, then that person is only enabling that other person's behavior to keep on doing it, right? And then if that other person makes up excuses about why they can't give the money back, and they're still asking for more money, while Mr. Goody Two Shoes is not fucking asking the right questions, then like effectively the manipulator has been enabled and activating the other person, and now they're just running around doing all this crazy shit because now they've had experiences that confirm that, oh shit, motherfuckers out here is gullible and, you know, susceptible to manipulation. So let me just keep on doing it, because at the end of the day, I'm continuing to benefit from this. And it's like, you gotta understand, like a narc and manipulator don't really got empathy for you like that necessarily. Like, they don't really feel for you like that. And then it gets really deep, right? Because if you're spiritual and you understand, like, you actually will understand eventually too, like, that you can't be out here feeling everybody's fucking problems, feeling everybody's issues, because like, motherfuckers gotta deal with their own feelings. That's why, like, I will never sit here and feel bad for someone because of what they chose to do for themselves. Because if a person is choosing to do that for themselves, then they're doing it to themselves. So it's like, I might look at it and be like, yeah, you're doing that to yourself, but they're just gonna sit there and give me all the logic and all the reasons about why they need to do that. And I'm just gonna look at it like, well, you believe you need to do that, so go ahead and do that. I don't give a fuck. Like, okay. So it's just fucking stupid to me, and it doesn't even make any sense. Like, man, but again, like, wow. Again, like, you gotta understand, like, it's not a fair world necessarily, and it was never gonna be a fair world here, because this is the world that we are in. Like, this is this beast we are in. Like, this is what we have all chosen to participate in. This is what we have chosen to become aware of. Like, and look, like, spirits become aware all the time and shit like that, but spirits become aware in different locations. And so if you become aware of yourself as a spirit inside of a world of manipulation, then that's going to be the thing that you have to deal with, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So that's just going to be the reality of it and shit like that. And again, all a manipulator is just someone that's just damaged themselves, and they just go out of their way to manipulate. Like, and it's like manipulation just becomes like a skill and shit like that. And it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just that when it starts to, because like, really, like, all we're supposed to be, like, this is what I think personally. It's just some subjective shit, right? Because people are going to manipulate anyway. So it's not like I give a fuck. It's just about, like, can you spot the manipulation, and can you just, like, walk away from it type shit at this point, right? And then you can play their game if you want to, but then it's like, why play a game? Like, what's the point of it? Like, it's like, we're all adults, like we don't want to play games. No ways. I assume so. Oh man, and it's crazy. That's why you have like a bunch of people acting like children, even though they're adults and shit like that. It's just amazing, man. It's just amazing, you know. But you know, it's not one of those things where like you sit down and you get negative about. It's one of those things where you just accept this reality for what it is, and you just ask yourself, well, do I want to be Boo Boo the Fool, or do I want to be the person that with actual wisdom and operate with actual awareness, so you can actually have like operational efficiency on a daily basis? And it's crazy because like even if you try to help people, like they will actually hate you for even trying to help them. So it's like you shouldn't even try to help people. You should just let people go through their own experiences and shit like that. And then it's like, oh man, wow. That's also where I'm at anyways right now, yo. That's where I'm at and shit like that. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now and shit like that. But yeah, because I'm not perfect or anything like that, obviously. I'm learning myself. I'm trying to grow. So that's just what it is. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Anyways, that was just a rant. Y'all have a good day, man. And y'all go take care of yourselves for real.